Hello friends, welcome back to this tutorial series of Jetpack Compose, and in this tutorial we are going to learn about another effect handler, that is disposable effect. So this effect handler is used when we have want to register and unregister some type of event when our composable leaves their composition. So this basically is used whenever we want to observe some type of event or register some type of event, and then when we press the back button we leave that composable, and then we want to free up the resources and clean up the code in order to prevent the memory leaks. So let's jump into Android Studio and see practically. So here I am in an Android Studio project where I have created this simple Kotlin file, disposable effect demo, and here is a Kotlin is a composable function. There is a disposable effect practice where we'll be simply we just want to understand the behavior how that disposable effect works. So that's why I'm just building a simple screen where we'll be taking one box here. In the box, let's take a modifier equal to modifier dot fill max size, and then what? Okay, here in the preview I'll just write show background as a 2 so that we should be able to see the preview here. And yeah, content alignment equal to alignment dot center. Here I'll just take a text here, text composable saying uh, disposable effect demo screen, so that we should know that we have entered the screen. Okay, so that's it about so that's the only thing we are going to do. Yeah, that's the only thing. Now we want to understand the behavior of the disposable effect. Let's say we have some type of code which we don't want, which we want to run inside this composable, but we don't want any side effect. That's why we want to use an effect handler here. So effect handler we'll be using, that is on dispose sorry, disposable effect here. So I'll just write disposable effect here. So as in previous video we have already seen that launched effect is also there, and it also takes some type of key. So this is the same case with the disposable effect, and it also works like the same, like whenever the composition, whenever this key will change, then only this disposable effect will be triggered again. Otherwise, even if this composable recomposes, then also this won't trigger. It will only trigger when this key changes. So in the key here I'll just take some type of lifecycle event, that is lifecycle owner equal to, we get a reference of the current lifecycle of this composable by lifecycle lifecycle sorry local lifecycle owner dot current, and if you hover on this one we get a this lifecycle owner reference here, and we can put this inside this key, this lifecycle owner dot lifecycle. Also now still it's giving an error even after we give a key here. Why? So this error is because there is a compulsory lambda method we need to implement in this, that is on dispose, and the error goes away. So this on dispose will be triggered whenever our this composition leaves, this composable leaves our composition, that is leaves our screen. So this block will be triggered, and whatever the resources we will be using here in this composable, then we have this block to free up the resources. So whenever we press back button or close the screen and this composable uh, exits from the screen, then this block is triggered, and whatever the code we have written here that is freeing up the resources will be triggered. So let us first observe this event. Here I will take an observer here first. Well, observer equal to life cycle event observer, and it gives us two things. One is a I think scope, another is an event. Let's me hover on this one. Okay, not actually owner, it gives us a life cycle owner as the first parameter, and second it gives us an event. So we are able to observe the events of this composition That is the same, just like an activity. We have the different states like an on start, on the on stop, on pause, on resume. All these event we can track. So let me do this. When event, then we get an problem here, and if we alternate on this, it says add all remaining branches. I'll just click on this one, and yes, we now can observe all of these events according to this composable, that is the screen. So let me replace this all to dos with our normal opening and closing curly braces. Replace all, and yes, I'll put one statement here for the demonstration purpose. Log statement, tag maybe my tag, and here I'll just write on resume called, on resume called. Okay, and now we have this observer, but we also want to tie up this observer with the life cycle. So how we can do that? We'll take this life cycle owner dot life cycle dot add observer, and we'll pass this observer here, so that now this observer has been tied to the life cycle of this, that is the life cycle of composable. And in the on dispose, if we our composition leave the screen, then we no longer want it to get observed. So that's why what we can do here in the on dispose, that is code cleanup, here we'll just write lifecycle on the dot lifecycle dot remove observer, and we'll pass the same observer again. So whenever our composition enters our composable enters our composition, then we are tying it up, adding an observer, and when it leaves, we are also removing the observer, cleaning up the resource, freeing up the resources, and cleaning up the memory. So in order to check this, we also write one message here on add observer. We'll just write not here, in the disposable event we'll just write disposable effect called. Okay, so we'll get to know whenever this disposable effect is triggered. That's why I have put this my tag, this log statement here. And in the observer, we should be able to understand when this on resume is called. That's why I have put this log statement here. And now I put one log statement here, so that we will get an understanding of this on dispose will be called and the resources are cleaned up. I'll just write observer removed. Okay, so that's the only thing we need for the demonstration purpose and for you to understand how this works. Yeah, just one thing I already did, that is I have created this screen on disposable event, and in this main activity I am just continuing this from my previous lectures, that is disposable event. So I have just made a navigation from one screen to another. So in the main activity I have created separate serializable, that is disposable effect screen, and here in the navigation host I have added this another composable, so that we should be able to navigate to the screen, and that will be of type the disposable effect screen, and I am just calling the disposable effect practice composable from here. If we control click on this one, then we get this ticket. And in the navigation in the first screen on the I have created a separate button that called as a disposable effect screen, so that when we click on this one in the on click, I am just navigating with the help of host controller navigate to this disposable effect screen. So this is just a navigation, nothing else. Now let me run my emulator and show you how all these things work. Yes, now my emulator has been launched, and yeah, our application is now running here. So let me open the Lockcat, and I have already filtered it with this my tag. And now this is just a front screen where on clicking on this button disposable effect screen, yeah, on clicking on this button will come to this screen, and we want to see what different lock statements we get after we enter the screen. So I'll just click on this disposable effect screen, and as soon as I enter here, I get a two lock statements here. That is a on dispose effect called and on resume called. So yes, we have entered this composable, and here in the disposable effect block, yes, this statement has been executed because this life cycle has been changed. This value of this life cycle has been changed. That's why we are able to, this block is state triggered, and now we are able to see this disposable effect called screen. And as this life cycle again change, the state change to the on resume. That's why this statement has been triggered. That is an on resume called. After doing all of this one, on dispose is yet to execute. It will execute whenever we press the back button from here. So if I just press the back button from here, then you can see observer removed. That is, the observer is now removed. On clicking on back button, our composable left our screen, and that's why this on dispose has been called to clean up the resources. And this is the task of cleaning the resources, that is removing the observer, we are doing in this block. So that's the motto of this effect. And we also can see, let me clear this again and enter the screen again. We got these two things. If I put the app in the background and again opened it, uh, yeah, opened it, then you can see on resume has been called, because we are observing a life cycle event. On resume is triggered again, and that's why we get this on resume call statement. But the disposable event, this statement hasn't been executed because this block has not been triggered. But this on resume, as we are observing it, it has been called. So if you have some type of event which we need to register and unregister, let's say listening to some API call or something like that, then we can use this disposable effect, so that we should be able to dispose the resources, which dispose or free of the resources after our work has been done. So that's it about this disposable effect handler. I hope now you have a clear understanding about how this works and in which case we need to implement this one. If you still have some doubts or queries, you can put your questions in the comment box below. I will try my best to answer this. If you like this video, then please click on like, share with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel so that you will be notified whenever a new video is published. We'll meet in the next tutorial with some another interesting topic. Till then, goodbye.